We were in France for a business trip, and I had a chance to go either to Versailles or to the flea market. And I chose going to the flea market. I'd always heard about it, and this is where I went.
You found this, and when was that?
That was in 61, 62.
So almost 50 years ago.
Oh, yes.
This is an Art Deco sculpture by Dmitri Chiparus, one of the most famous sculptors of the 1920s and 1930s. The sculpture is called The Clown's Dream. It features a golden bronze figure on a carved marble base. The bronze has a rich gold finish with some brown coloring. What makes this piece stand out is its size. Most works are small, but this one is much larger than usual. This piece combines gilt bronze with carved marble, showing his signature style. Dmitri was a Romanian artist and one of the top sculptors of the Art Deco period. He was known for using mixed materials in his work: browns, marble, and sometimes ivory with painted details. His work is rare and highly collected today, especially by Russian collectors who love his style. The sculpture is signed on the base. Many fakes exist. This artist's work is copied more than almost any other sculptor, but this piece is genuine.
No, you didn't pay very much for it at the Paris flea market, did you?
Oh, I didn't. $50.
$50.
I'm embarrassed to say.
A value for this in a gallery of $100,000.
Oh my goodness. It means a lot to me. I really...
I think it's a Bodhisattva. It's a figure of the Buddha, and this is a repose position. I almost didn't have a chance to acquire it because I was having 15 people for lunch. There was a local person to get to his garage sale. I rushed out, and so I thought everything good would be gone. But when I saw this, I thought it was so beautiful.
This is a gilt bronze Bodhisattva from China's early Ming Dynasty, a Buddhist figure of compassion, over 600 years old. The figure sits in a pose called royal ease, with one leg raised and one foot showing. The face is round and full, looking down with a peaceful expression. The chest is decorated with ribbons and jewelry. The robe has deep folds that flow naturally. One hand holds a rope whisk. Over time, most of the gold has worn off, and one arm is missing. The sculpture is made of bronze and was once covered in gold. The quality of the casting is exceptional. The fine details in the drapery, jewelry, and face suggest this may have been made for the imperial household. This piece dates to the early 15th century, during the early Ming Dynasty, a golden age of Buddhist art in China. The original base is missing, but experts believe it may have had an imperial inscription. The quality is so high that it was likely made for someone beyond just a wealthy patron. The missing arm and warm gilding are expected for an object this old. In fact, experts would be suspicious if the gold was still perfect.
Any idea what it may be worth in today's market after what I've said?
To me, it was worth $100 or whatever I paid, so I didn't really care.
A very conservative retail price would be $100,000 to $125,000.
Really? Are you really serious? Oh my goodness.
It was my father's great aunt's sculpture, and when she died, it came to my grandmother, and when my grandmother died, it came to my father, and he has since given it to me.
This is the Eternal Spring sculpture by Auguste Rodin, one of the greatest sculptors in history, often compared to Michelangelo. The sculpture shows two figures in an emotional embrace, capturing real human feelings in bronze. The detail is sharp and clear, a sign of an early high-quality cast. Every curve and expression feels alive. Rodin worked with a famous French foundry called Ferdinand Barbedienne to cast his bronze. The piece is signed Rodin on the side and also has the foundry name stamped on it. There are letters and numbers used by the foundry to track when it was made. Auguste Rodin was born in 1840 and changed the world of sculpture. Before him, most sculptures showed myths or history. Rodin focused on real people and real emotions. His early work was so lifelike that critics accused him of casting actual humans. This piece is believed to be a lifetime cast, made between 1880 and 1917. Rodin's work is heavily copied and faked. To sell an authentic piece, you need a certificate from the Comité Auguste Rodin in France.
My feeling is that it is an authentic period one. You must get a certificate from the Committee Auguste Rodin. And in June of this year, 2016, in London, one brought $450,000.
Wow, $450,000. That is amazing.
My grandparents lived in China from about 1918 to about 1938. And they brought back some artifacts, and this was one of them. I, being the first grandchild, got it.
This is a Chinese bronze Buddha statue. The statue has 3 parts: a seated Buddha figure, a decorated base, and a black plate called an aureole. The Buddha sits in a calm, simple pose. The base is more detailed, with petal patterns and leaf shapes. You can still see traces of gold on parts of the surface. This statue was once completely covered in gold. The entire piece is made of bronze. The figure and base were originally covered with gilded lacquer, giving them a golden finish. Over time, most of the gold has worn away, leaving behind a green patina that shows the statue's great age. The statue dates back to the Ming Dynasty, between 1368 and 1644. The base and back plate show Indian design influences, which makes sense because Buddhism traveled from India to China. The simple Buddha figure mixed with the fancy Indian-style base creates a unique blend of styles. Experts believe the figure and base were made around the same time, but may have been paired together later, possibly in the antique shops of Beijing in the early 1900s.
I believe that in an auction setting, this would realize between $15,000 and $20,000.
Really? Oh my goodness. Thank you to my grandmother.
It's been handed down through my husband's side of the family since the 1800s, when a relative went over to China for 3 months to do shopping for antiques.
This is a gilded bronze figure from China's Ming Dynasty, a Daoist immortal known as the Jade Emperor, who rules over heaven. The figure sits on a decorated base, wearing a detailed robe with celestial clouds carved into it. Traces of gold gilding remain on the surface, worn softly in all the right places from centuries of age. The edges have fine beadwork, a sign of quality craftsmanship. The statue is cast in bronze and covered with gold gilding. There's a small firing crack and a plug in the shoulder, repairs made during the original casting over 350 years ago. The interior shows a beautiful aged patina, proving this is a genuine and not a modern copy. This figure was made during the late Ming Dynasty, around 1600 to 1650. The Jade Emperor is an important figure in Taoism, a Chinese philosophy focused on living in harmony with nature. Figures like this were used for devotion and spiritual practice.
Clearly your antique dealer relative kept this because it's one of the better objects he owned. In a retail setting, it would demand a value of $20,000.
I brought it in a roller cooler today with snacks on top of it.
Well, it came from South Jersey, and believe it or not, it was in the home that was purchased in the eve of the garage. For several years, we never even realized that it was there.
So what did you think when you first saw it? Were you afraid to pick it up?
I think I started to dance around, and my niece describes it as the happy dance.
This is a folk art root sculpture, a strange, spooky, and one-of-a-kind piece made from natural tree roots. The sculpture is covered with carved animals and figures. You can see snakes twisting about, birds perched on branches, a cat, and even a horse head. Every inch has something to look at. The twisted roots give it a creepy, tree-like look, like something out of an old fairy tale. Around 1890 to 1900, someone started carving this piece from tree roots, and once they started, they couldn't stop. The artist added more and more detail, turning nature into art. The old finish has aged beautifully over time. Folk art has to draw you in, and this piece does exactly that. It's fascinating, strange, and a little scary, all at once. To some, it might look ugly, but to folk art collectors, it's a thing of great beauty.
I would say a good auction estimate would be $30,000 to $50,000.
That's incredible. That's really welcome news. That's unbelievable.
I bought it in New York City about 20 years ago, over 20 years ago probably.
And it was in a gallery, shop, what kind of
No, it was a dealer who sold it to me. She was actually selling Haitian art, and she had a couple of bronze statues, and I just took to it immediately. I thought it was so beautiful.
This is a bronze sculpture by Angel Botello, one of the most famous sculptors from Puerto Rico. The sculpture shows a seated girl. Her face is flat and stylized, giving it a modern look. She has a long, graceful neck. Her dress has a heavily textured surface that adds warmth and character. The whole piece feels charming, endearing, and full of emotion. The sculpture is made of bronze with a stylized modern design. Botello's work stands out for its warm, appealing style. Simple shapes that still feel full of life. This piece was likely made in the early 1980s. The sculpture is signed by the artist, Angel Botello. Angel Botello was born in Spain in 1913 and studied architecture and painting in Paris. He lived in Haiti for several years before moving to Puerto Rico in 1953. He became Puerto Rico's most famous sculptor.
So what did you pay for this when you bought it?
Oh gosh, it's been so long, but I know I paid $1,000. I know it was a lot of money for me.
His work is very, very desirable. The value in a gallery is probably about $10,000.
Okay, nice, really nice.
When I was a teenager, I saw this man at my godmother's house. She said, one day I'm going to put this in my will and it'll be yours. Recently, she just gave it to me. He's just something that I've always treasured because he's different.
This is a Japanese bronze sculpture from the Meiji period. The figure shows a man leaping forward with one leg stretched out. His hat has flown off and landed on a wave of water. You can see the water breaking and frothing beneath it. His clothes are full of movement, showing the rush of the moment. On his back is a spot where he would carry his hoe. His face shows a weathered old man, someone who has worked hard his whole life. The sculpture is made of bronze and balances on just one leg, a difficult thing to achieve. The artist extended the base and figure's pose to balance the heavy weight perfectly. A block under the foot keeps it stable. This piece was made in Tokyo in the late 19th century during the Meiji period. At that time, Japan was opening up to the world and creating art for foreign buyers. Sculptures like this were displayed at world's fairs in cities like St. Louis, Philadelphia, and Chicago. A small square mark on the sculpture says Kanada, the name of the artist. Kanada worked in the late 19th century, and this is one of the best examples of his work.
For retail replacement purposes, I think a figure of $12,000 would be about right.
Really? I had no idea.